The following program, though incredibly nerdy, is intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised, and you probably shouldn't watch if you're an overly sensitive pussy.
Sorry about the wait. So, what's this music playing too? Damn. We're in fairy tale land. Hello. What up? Sorry, sorry for the extra late start. I was actually looking for my glasses. I couldn't find my glasses, man. I was like Velma on the floor. Lost. But I found them. Don't worry. I found them. What is up, everybody? Welcome on in. Welcome. Hope everybody is doing well. It's Friday. It's Friday. And that feels good. Hope you guys are doing well. We've got a very fun, nerdy stream planned for you today. We finally know some shit about Spider-Man's brand new day and the trailer for that. So we're going to gush about that. We're going to get into that. I want to talk a little bit about Dune 3 as well, because I'm starting to get worried. Guys. Maybe some of you guys know, like, kind of where my head is at with this. Maybe some of you don't, but I am starting to get a little worried about that Dune movie, man. I was like, wow, they're definitely not going to stick to that date with Doomsday. You know, why would they want to compete with Doomsday? You know what I mean? Like, why would you do that? All of a sudden, it's looking like they're going to do that, and we might have Houston. We might have a problem. We need to explain that. We need to talk about that. Some of you guys are like licking your chops, excited about that shit. Like, I've seen it. Some of you guys you want Marvel to like hold that L. You want Dune to be crowned fucking King of the Year or some stupid shit like that. So we'll get into it. We'll talk about that because I am actually a little concerned and excited. You know, I'm concerned but excited about Dune. And then finally, I do want to talk about another Doomsday leak. I can't believe it. Why? Why do they keep leaking stuff? Can't they just take a couple of days off? Can we just take it? What if we just took a couple of days off of Doom's leaks? But my time to shine, hello, said some more stupid shit that she shouldn't have said. So now we're going to talk about it. This one's actually kind of interesting. It has to do with the Golden Masks. It has to do with Sue Storm. And I have some speculation. I actually wouldn't talk about it unless I had some cool speculation to add to it. So that's what we're going to do today. That's what's on the agenda. Also, I overcorrected on that color. Hang on. Now it's way too dark. Is it way too dark? Feels like it's way too dark now. Hang on. Boo-doo-boo-boo. We'll pull it back. Pull it back just a little bit. You know what I mean? Pull it back just a little bit. Yeah, fuck it. Zach says, happy Friday, Nerd Vengers. How's the tooth, Josh? It's looking to be another great stream. So take my money, bro. Much love, Nerd Vengers for life. Zach Vengers for life? Is that what the Z is? Appreciate you, man. So, the tooth. The tooth is a whole thing. I'm actually not 100% sure. I guess what I would say is the appointment yesterday did not go as according to plan. However, I'm gonna go to another dentist and get it figured out, but it might take a little bit of time. I'm on medication. I'm on some antibiotics and some pain stuff, and I just kind of have to hold out until the next part of it or whatever. But yeah, it's not the best, but I'll be all right. Chris says Moab Deeb will return in Avengers Doomsday. God damn it, dude. I don't want Doomsday. I don't want none of that. I don't want none of that sharing. I don't want none of that fun, fucking happy-go-lucky Barbenheimer bullshit. I don't want it. Real Brick says, coming up on 2 years as a Nerd Avenger. Thanks for all the content and entertainment, Josh. Hey, appreciate you, man. I'm glad you're enjoying yourself over here, and plenty of more fun stuff ahead for us. I'm actually in a cool headspace right now, and I've been really enjoying a lot of nerdy shit right now, man. I'm loving One Piece. I've been rewatching Invincible, seasons 1 through 3, because I want to work on a little recap video. Make some content about Invincible, maybe cover the episodes as they come out this season. And on top of that, I actually really am excited about Spider-Man. I'm excited about Doomsday. I kind of had this thought this morning where, when was the last Marvel movie? Probably Fantastic Four, right? So literally like last summer. So we're doing about a year in between Marvel movies. And I got to tell you, I feel like that feels right. I think Marvel can definitely get back to a place where they're doing like 2 movies a year, maybe even 3 movies a year. But I almost don't think you need to go back to 3 ever. I think 2 well spread out is like good. Where I guess what I could tell you just as a fan, like I'm starting to get like that itch, and there's a level of excitement towards Spider-Man that is kind of coming down to, oh man, I haven't actually seen a Marvel movie in a while, and I'm actually like, I like that, and I want to experience that again. Kind of goes back into that whole conversation about like scarcity and stuff like that. So I'm in a really good headspace as a fan, really excited about a lot of fun, nerdy shit that's coming out, that's on the horizon, and the whole year end caps with Avengers Doomsday and not Dune. So it's going to be a great end of the year as well, and yeah, it's just good shit, man. It's good shit, man, and yeah, I think it's going to be a good year. Purple Funk, member for 50 months. My God, says the Big 50. Rewatching season 1 of One Piece before starting season 2. My partner doesn't enjoy much anime adjacent content, but she digs the live action. Oh, that's awesome. That's good to hear. Yeah, the whole thing with the live action and One Piece in general continues to be like a kind of conversation and debate online. I've seen a lot of haters, man. I got to tell you, I was like really pleased with how much support I saw the show getting. And I don't know if like the demonic internet just decided, no way, we can have that. because holy shit, I've seen a lot of hate on the live action over the past couple of days. I don't know what you guys have seen on social media. Social media is so weird, right? But all of that to say that, like, it's obviously not stopping the show from succeeding, and there's so many people that are very positive on it. I almost feel like the backlash to the positivity is being done because people just can't believe or like handle that people would appreciate a show being sincere, not being afraid of being goofy. You know what I mean? And there's like just something really earnest and sincere about this show that I think a lot of people recognize. And so fuck the haters. You're all wrong. And I think the show does nothing but get bigger, frankly. There's a bit of a question mark with season 3 because the guy that did season 2, one of the showrunners, is stepping away, which you never love to see, right? But at the same time, it doesn't necessarily mean the whole thing is damned. And there's a lot of people that have been working on this that are going to continue to work on this. Netflix knows it's a super big deal for them. I imagine this show to just build and build and build. It'll continue to build a cultural relevancy. I mean, we're only at about 15 to 20% of the overall story. If the show can persist at its just current level of success, it should justify continuing to cover the arcs. I mean, dude, we're gonna get into stuff that's like probably like 3, 4, 5 years from now. We might get that end game Infinity War effect, where the cultural relevancy reaches a tipping point where people are like, okay, how do I catch up? Or like, I guess let's give the live action show a chance. You know what I'm saying? Like, I truly feel like this show's on an incredible trajectory. And I'm really hyped about it. But Zach, appreciate you gifting a membership. Bianca, my God, gifting 5 memberships. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Yeah, so that's cool. Glad you're digging it, man. Appreciate it. And appreciate all the gifted memberships, guys. Thank you. It's not the earnest. It's the things that can be done right in animation and don't need live action, though I don't subscribe to the crowd and understand their opinion. Brother, I got to be honest with you. I didn't understand what you just said. Like, I feel like I could reread it and try again, but I'm not going to. But appreciate you. Morning, homies. Hell yeah. We already got introduced to 8 of the Straw Hats. Hope we get the remaining 2 in season 3. Yeah. I think some of them have been cast, actually. I think there's some casting, either maybe rumors or some info on them, but yeah. Yeah. The weather on the Grand Line is crazy. Yeah, the weather on the Grand Line is crazy, man, for sure. You know what I was fascinated by as I was watching the live action? I was like, I think it's so crazy how much electromagnetic waves like are central in that plot. It's actually like kind of weird how Oda was putting in electromagnetism and separation of realms potentially in this anime like 30 years ago, you know. And yeah, there's some really cool stuff in One Piece and the sort of arcs and the deep lore that he's building. I really like it. I really think it's cool. So I think that'll grow over time too. People might come to appreciate some of the things that are in that story. 30 years of success is huge social proof. And I think that's part of why the show's even tipping over, right? But yeah, we'll see. We'll see where it goes from there. I've still only been able to halfway through episode 3. I need more time. Yeah, I've only done 2 episodes this season, which is another really interesting phenomenon. You know what I mean? Like, I got to tell you guys, you know how people say, like, don't bet against Jim Cameron, and people say don't bet against Kevin Feige? We just saw, like, Tom Rothman say that the other week, right? I got to tell you guys, I'm starting to feel like don't bet against Netflix. I think they might understand audience and really what's happening with, like, actual audience in the streaming age in a way that Hollywood does not at all. Because, like, I look at One Piece and I look at the Tuesday release, right? And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. You know, it doesn't create necessarily an event. I don't understand how that time is supposed to allow people to, like, get in and watch it all or view it all, right? But I think at some level they might actually have data that suggests that dropping it on a Tuesday, allowing the very, very hardcore people that have more time to immediately dive in and create a sort of funnel of, social media buzz, or I guess like earned media in a sense. And then they know that a lot of people will watch the lion's share of it over the weekend. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think these people are really, really smart, and I think they know way more about why this show is so important than maybe a lot of people on the outside looking in. So we'll see. We'll see. I think they don't care about episode release time compared to linear TV. Well, of course, I mean, there's completely different considerations, but I think at the end of the day, what's the end goal for Netflix, right? And maybe the end goal for Netflix is a little bit different than what you would say linear did, but they're tending to align now, especially with advertisements, right? I mean, Netflix puts a lot of ads. Stranger Things had an incredible amount of ads, and not just that, but like well integrated, well thought out ads. And so, I've always thought of Netflix as like a tech company, and perhaps we're sort of seeing the evolution of how some, business-minded advertising people have come in and tinkered in that ecosystem. But at the end of the day, I think you're just trying to maximize viewership and minimize fatigue and minimize churn, right? Like that's probably what Netflix is most concerned with, is like, maximizing growth and minimizing churn. Yeah. Less than a week till Invincible. I know, dude. I know. And I got to say, too, just to gush a little bit. I feel like this week I've just been gushing about One Piece and Invincible, but fuck it, because they deserve it. Dude, I'm rewatching Invincible, guys. This shit is so peak. It's so good. Season 1 in particular is so good. I think that, I'm about to get into Season 2, and I would imagine, I'll probably feel it, like the fall off a bit, but maybe not even close to what I felt going through it at the real time, because when you're binging it, you don't feel the delays, you don't feel the mid-season gap. I bet the big beats will hit harder and kind of carry through Season 2 a little bit more. But dude, just being back on Invincible Season 1, so like it's episode 1 is so fucking layered, and honestly, like it just kind of continues that. But I actually kind of started to get emotional, because as with all the foresight of what happens, going back and watching Nolan and Mark and their relationship is really, really emotional, because you can see Nolan completely change when Mark gets his powers. And there's that moment where he first hits Mark, and he like fucking hits him like for the first time ever, and Mark is like afraid and scared. He's literally like crying out to his dad. It's really emotional. And then later on, Mark is like kind of out on his own, acting like a hero without his dad, trying to prove himself. And then they have a confrontation, and Mark is like, hit me, and he wants him to hit him. He's actually begging his father to hit him, because he's like, I wasn't strong enough before, but I can do this. I can prove to you that I can do this. I can be like you. And when you think about how layered that is, because, of course, he will hit him way fucking harder at the end of that season in that tragic ending. But also the sort of foreshadowing of Mark becoming like Nolan is so beautifully ironic, because, and especially with what's about to happen in Season 4, because in Season 4, we are going to see Mark realize that his dad wasn't wrong about everything, which is so fucking crazy. One of the things I really respect about this show, and I want to, we'll sit back and see how it's all handled from here. And a lot of people are concerned with like the Debbie Nolan thing that resolves itself. But I actually think this is one of the real strengths of Invincible, is that it's so human in the way it handles the relationships. And really what I mean is it's fucking messy, dude. Like people will have shit to say about it. It'll be criticized, but that's human. Like that's human behavior. Human behavior doesn't always make sense. And there's like he's just playing with some really interesting themes in Invincible. And I'm really appreciating it on my rewatch. Yeah, Oliver literally says, "What if Dad isn't wrong?" I mean, it's more complicated than that because Mark, of course, will forge his own path for not only himself but for the Viltrumites eventually. But it's more about oh man. As a father, you know, there's some shit in there that's real like perennial and recognizable. I think that like all fathers would feel. The world is harsh. The world is way harsher than a child realizes. How do you raise a child without destroying a childhood in a way where a child can become a strong adult and doesn't have their world destroyed? You know, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. It's really cool. It's really cool. So I'm really enjoying that. I'm working on a video where I'm going to recap all 3 seasons and talk about what I think will be happening in this next season. And then next week, man. Woo. I'm excited. Woo. I'm excited. I'm only 150 episodes into the anime. Wife keeps asking me questions in the live action. And I'm like, shoot, I don't remember. So much info. Oh, it's deep. It's dense. Yeah, it's dense. Yeah. But I think that's another benefit of the One Piece live action is it's kind of like a condensed refresher in some ways. And they're actually adding in things from way further down in the story that I actually think are making it a more enjoyable experience, pushing that narrative forward more succinctly. You know? Yeah. All right, everybody. Well, look, man, we got some nerdy shit to get into today, guys. We're going to talk about some Spider-Man trailer predictions. How much are they going to hide from this trailer? What do you think, Chad? How much are they going to hide? Are they going to have Scene 1 Jean Grey come out and be like, God damn it, Den of Nerds was right. Fuck you. And then she like goes back in the movie. That'd be amazing. I'd be like, wow, best trailer I've ever seen. But I doubt it. So we'll talk about that. And then we're going to talk about the Dune trailer. The Dune trailer. And then we're going to talk about a really cool Sue Storm leak, man. Woo! I'm excited. So I guess we'll get into that in a little bit here. But I kind of want to make another coffee, guys. I'm kind of dragging today a little bit. And then the two thing isn't helping. You know what I did yesterday, too? Real quick, I'll also explain this. This is Adam's fault. This new kill team here of the Scout Squad. Space Marine neophytes. It only costs $80. And I got this yesterday because, as somebody pointed out in the Warhammer section of the Discord, it's like when you are a kid and you have a dentist appointment and you get ice cream, except mine was $80 of little plastic army men. So. Can I put a coffee on? Is that going to be okay? Can I go put a coffee on, chat, and then let's do this? Is that all right? Sounds reasonable. Yeah, indeed. We don't care. Shut up and dribble about Marvel, streamer. God damn it, dog. All right, well, let me get a coffee first. Holy shit. God damn. It really is your own people. It really do be your own people. How did that? I didn't even see it. Were you able to see that miniature or no? VVV Streams, welcome to the Nerd Vengers. You are a Nerd Venger now, baby! Baby! I was making the coffee, relax. Could you see the figure? It looked ugly? What? Then there must be something wrong with the lens. Because I put all my autism into that mini. Put some respect on it, you know? All right. Hey, can I ask you guys something? How y'all feeling about the about Spider-Man Brand New Day just in general? I'm kind of like are people hyped on this thing? Like, what's the deal with Spider-Man? You know? I guess it's hard to know because they haven't released a trailer at all, right? I'm so tired, bro. Are you tired? Sorry. I'm hyped, nervous, not hyped yet. Interesting. Do you think that's just because, like, they literally haven't shown us shit here? Like, I guess let's start there. Like, what do you guys make of that, right? Because I do not have a Keurig, although I think Keurigs are cool. I have a Nespresso machine. Nespresso makes these, like, wonderfully, like, perfectly brewed and aerated and fluffy and fucking, it's like a goddamn dream come true every time I make one. Where's the trailer? I'm not sure. Normies have no idea this movie's coming out. Yeah, ask me again when the trailer drops because I don't know shit about it. Really interesting. Okay. Kind of feel like we haven't seen much. Yeah, I don't think we have seen much. I mean, I think what we've seen is the leak. So that's kind of an interesting distinction here. If you think about what's actually been revealed, when they were filming, Holland was in the suit. He made that video, and then there was some set photos because he wanted to film with open filming and crowds and people and everything. A real celebration of that. And so we saw that, and that's when we were like, yo, that suit looks pretty cool. Oh, are there different suits? No, he's just fixing up battle damage. What's up with the web shooters being so big? You know what I mean? Probably, you know, just a puberty thing or something. So we saw that, and then we had the leaked trailer in the middle of the Doomsday stuff, right? And that's kind of it. I mean, there were technically two other trailers. They're all very similar. I see some people getting into debates on whether or not they're all the same trailer or not. I think the time windows indicate that they are not the same trailer. The very first one to leak seemed like it was a focus group trailer with early VFX or something. And so it seems like they've made some decisions and tightened the trailer up. One of the things I noticed in the newest version of the trailer was like way less Sadie Sink, for instance. And so I'm kind of interested in maybe if that's a choice or not. But yeah, I think that's probably the reality is you've just seen that opening thing. You've just seen the leak trailer. And then everything else is leaks. Like, and there have been really big leaks. There have been the Hulk leaks, the Punisher leaks, both of which confirmed from the trailer leak. There's the Sadie Sink stuff, of course. So there's like threads of interest out there in the hardcore groups, but yeah, I don't think there's a ton of buzz other than people just being like, yeah, another Spider-Man movie's coming. Does that then mean, and maybe that's Tombstone leak, fair, yep, that's a fair point. Okay, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about the coming trailer. The rumored date is next Wednesday. Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer, you know, releasing next Wednesday. A lot of indications that it's going to be attached to Project Hail Mary, which makes sense. Looks to be a big movie, which, by the way, are you guys excited for Project Hail Mary? Let me know, chat. So that all tracks. Several reliable folks have come forward. I think Soups or Matt Ramos was one of the first. Grace Randolph was very much around the same time. I think Cryptic confirmed it. I think Alex confirmed it. Daniel confirmed it. Everybody confirmed it. Okay, so it's like we pretty much know, unless Sony decides to pull the rug, it's coming out next week. Maybe on Wednesday, publicly released and then it will be attached to Project Hail Mary, which has previews on Thursday, maybe some previews on Wednesday in other time zones, and then Friday will be the first official day of the weekend box office, right? So that all makes sense. And we were just talking about in chat, and C-Dub, totally appreciate that. Hey, appreciate that 10. I'm going to have to get to it after this segment, though, brother, so forgive me. But thank you for that 10, man. Going to IMAX of Project Hail Mary on Monday. That's sick, dude. Lucky you. That's sick. Okay. So all of that tracks, all of that makes sense. We were just having a discussion about how it seems like the buzz for the new Tom Holland Spider-Man is just really not there yet. There's certainly interest, and I think within the hardcore Marvel community, there's a lot of interest. Maybe just because there have been so many different leaks and so many different things that we've heard, right? And we're really excited. But it kind of seems like maybe the wider nerdy community is maybe looking past Spider-Man just a little bit, I think. You know, maybe Doomsday, even some of these shows, you know, The Boys finishing up a 5-season finale thing. There's a lot of really cool stuff coming out this year. I don't know how much of that attention is being given to Spider-Man for now. Okay. Now, I think this movie has the goods. I think this movie is I think they're very confident in this movie. I keep bringing up this Rothman interview. You know, we watched this Rothman interview a couple weeks ago, last week or something. But like, dude, he spoke as though he's very confident in the film, and he's, you know, kind of, you can kind of read between the lines. He's calling Feige a genius, talking about how good the arrangement is. It's never been better. Like he gave him Jean Grey, so he's like real fucking happy. Is what my take on that. And I do think Spider-Man will pop off, right? I guess that there is a question, though, of how is this marketing being handled? Did they leave attention on the table by not doing the Super Bowl trailer? Like, it still to this day feels a little weird that there's no Super Bowl trailer. Now, Sony doesn't really do Super Bowl stuff, so I guess they didn't want to or whatever, but it just still feels like, okay, this is a really big movie. You know, not enough people know how crazy it's going to be. How's this trailer going to pop off? But here's the thing. So I've been thinking about this. I'm actually starting to think that that's actually a pretty comfortable spot for the movie to be in, because that allows a sort of exceeding of expectations. If this trailer comes out and it's like so fucking cool, and it proves Hulk's in this thing, Punisher's in this thing, and it seems like, yo, this next Spider-Man movie is going to be insane, then maybe it gets shared even more. Like, maybe it does even more impressions. It actually like moves the needle, right? So I don't know. I you know, given all of the versions of the leak trailer that we've seen so far and the expectations of where I think fans are at, I actually do see that as a possibility. You know, the sort of confirmation of Bruce Banner, the confirmation of Punisher, I think that's a really big deal, dude. I think a lot of fans will go nuts for that. So I do expect it to be successful in that sense. I think, though, and this is becoming more and more, I guess, of like just a burden to bear as more of the hardcore plugged in Marvel fan. I don't know how much it'll blow us away. Okay? So we might have to have another one of these conversations where some of us are like a little bit like, yo, that's it? You know, like, what? That's it? Is that all you got, you know? But at the same time, I think it's worth looking at what that wider impression will be. How do people view this thing, you know? I think there are Marvel fans out there that are actually a little afraid that Spider-Man won't get the attention it deserves despite all of this sort of stuff. And I think, you know, we talk about Star Wars, and we're going to talk about Dune in a little bit here, because I guess, spoiler alert for my take on Dune, I really wish Dune would shut the fuck up and leave and go into next year. You're fucking with my Marvel shit, Dune, and you might actually do some damage here, and I'm kind of worried about it. I think the death spiral fear that we talk about with Star Wars is that they will go to the cameo well, they will go to the Luke Skywalker well, and it won't work. You've been to that well too many times, it's not going to work anymore. And that would be a real fucker of a problem for Marvel, right? If it ever gets to the point where you throw Hulk and Punisher into a Spider-Man movie and people kind of roll their eyes, you done you done goofed. Like, you done fucked up pretty bad, right? So I guess there's always the slight fear that maybe that's what's happening and that there's actually a lack of general interest in the movie overall. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. But a lot of questions will be answered next week when we actually get the trailer. So right now, guys, it seems like best bet is Wednesday. Now, here's the other thing. Last part I want to say here in this segment is if I were to predict what the trailer is, and I guess this is potentially spoilery because, again, we've seen versions of the trailer. So I actually do feel like we more or less know what the trailer's going to be. Like, I love you, New York, but you're bringing me down. Like, it's going to be Peter trying to be Spider-Man. A lot of shit's going wrong. He's also dealing with a some kind of personal issue, I think, having to do with the spell, not having to do with some of the things people think it has to do with. And Peter's kind of unraveling. At the same time, the Department of Damage Control is trying to get him. He's trying to get help from Bruce Banner, right? So I think kind of tonally, they're just going to set up, he's Spider-Man. It's difficult. He's doing a good job. And then all of a sudden, inciting incident thing, like something bad's happening. He needs help. He goes to Banner. Conflict. Punisher's there to save his ass. That's I think it. And I think the tone they want to set up and like the expectations that they want to set up for the film is Peter's finally Peter. We kind of leave him in the last film at the place that many fans always wanted him to be. A little bit more of that Toby energy, you know, poor, alone, listening to police scanners, making his own suit. That's Spider-Man. So he's Spider-Man. And he's having troubles. He's going to try to get help from Bruce Banner. Punisher's going to be there helping him. And he's going to be fighting a bunch of villains. I think Tombstone is likely to be positioned as the main antagonist, or at least sold as the main antagonist in the movie. Because I think Tombstone represents like the organizing force of the rogues gallery of Peter and the villains in the city. And I think that's generally what the trailer's going to be. They're just going to show Peter, show this like slipping into confusion, changes in the body and mind, connect that to Banner, while also having him just try to be Spider-Man in a city. That's kind of my thoughts. It won't be... hang on, let me answer this. It won't be that we roll our eyes. The worry is that we left the theater feeling completely underwhelmed yet again. That I think is fair. But to me, I think they could give you enough in the movie to make you feel like it was super, super fun. What is a little bit more of a concern is like, does that group, though, that appreciates that dwindle? And are they unable to connect with wider audiences, different kinds of folks that maybe aren't as plugged in, that are just looking for a fun party? Because that's what Marvel used to be. It used to be that accessible. It was like that thing. And it did a lot of heavy lifting for pop culture in general. So, Mad Black Cat, appreciate your $2, but you didn't put any message in there. So, guys, with all of that being said, the last question, and I want to ask you guys this. How much do you think they're going to hide in this trailer? Do you think they're going to show us a lot of stuff? I almost feel like they're going to hide even more Sadie Sink than they would have otherwise, because the Jean Grey thing is out there, like that line of dialogue that was in the original trailer. Probably not in this new trailer. I wonder how much they'll even show of damage control, right? I'm kind of curious. Like, I wonder how much they'll even show of damage control. I'm going to be really interested in how they sell this film. What are they, like, hiding? Because there's a whole element in this movie. There's a whole multiversal thing going on in this movie that basically nobody knows about, that nobody's really talking about. And it is, I think, connected to how these characters will end up on Secret Wars. It has something to do with why the movie is also taking place at the same time as Doomsday. So, yeah, I just don't expect them to kind of put that on Front Street, right? I don't expect them to throw that into the marketing. They'll probably keep that a secret. So what do you guys think? I'm not convinced at all. Wait, what? The movie will make $1 billion. Wait, what? They're going to hide stuff. I think so, too. This particular IP has grace till Kingdom Come. That's why Sony will hold on for years, another one decades. They do have a lot of Grace. I mean, it was like the biggest thing in pop culture. You know, a lot of us just still have those fond memories, man, of the Infinity Saga. So I would tend to agree with that. But I mean, Star Wars had a lot of goodwill too, brother. You know what I mean? Star Wars had a lot of goodwill. How'd they run out of all that goodwill? There was some Sadie singing in the leaked trailer, but not a lot. Correct. Yeah. I don't think they will show Sadie sink. Yeah, there's. I guess that's the question, right? And yeah, your take is no. Interesting. I don't think they will be misdirect us by showing Scorpion and the main villain. I think they should reveal what the movie is actually about in the trailer and don't hide multiversal elements. Well, I think they kind of have to hide the multiversal elements because there's synergy with both the Punisher special, Netflix, or the Daredevil show, and also Doomsday. So there's stuff that they can't just like give away because it kind of like hurts the Doomsday marketing. Does that make sense? Hello, Andrew Dime. It's been said that the twist in this movie is like one of the wildest twists in any comic book adaptations ever. They're hiding a shit ton, especially from us. Oh yeah, who said that? Who said that? I mean, I maybe agree with that. I don't know that I've heard it said that way, though. Who said that shit? That's why I wondered if you were worried about the potential Netflix merger. I thought it would be fine. Oh, I really like Netflix, man. I mean, I just think they're like a fundamentally great company. Like, they have a pretty ruthless culture, but they're very smart. You know, they're very smart. Probably see more Frank in the trailer just to get us excited while hiding everything else. Yeah, I kind of think so, too. It's almost like this new trailer is going to soft confirm some of the best rumors from the past year while holding on to the truth about the most confusing rumors. It's almost like they're like, yeah, we know y'all got excited about that shit when it leaked. Well, guess what? It was real. It's fucking awesome. Here you go, nerds. And we're all going to be like, oh, yeah, baby. Ah. Ah. You know, should be good. There will be a specific reason he's not in Doomsday. Well, God, I hope so. Man, I am even getting excited for Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Like, I was kind of thinking about this. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man will probably come out later this year. And I think at that time, especially if Brand New Day does its job correctly, I'm going to be, like, feeling that Spider-Man shit. And I think that second season of Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man could pop, man. It's good. It's good. It just had all the same problems that all the good stuff on Disney Plus had. It just got buried. And then the fucking expectations was terrible because of the way it was launched into our brain parts. Yeah, season 1's really good, dude. I really like that show. It's just like I was a little fucking fatigued off Disney Plus. I was just like Marvel fatigued in general. You know, but it's really good. That opening song is incredible. On a scale of amazing to amazing, how good will Spider-Man be? Spectacular. Friendly Neighborhood spectacular. It felt like an origin we never got for Tom's Spider-Man. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Isn't that Vision Quest show supposed to come out this later too? Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Caleb Hughes says, food for thought. Hulk kills Peter. Bruce gets put into Raft. Raft turns into Life Raft. For Secret Wars, Peter gets resurrected. Much love, nerds. Hey, that could be. I like where your head's at, Caleb. Absolutely could be happening there. Are you guys following what he just said? So maybe Hulk kills Peter. Maybe Hulk kills some people. Maybe Hulk just is considered too dangerous of a threat. Damage control gets him, puts him on the raft. The raft gets retrofitted into the life raft, which survives into Battleworld like Hickman's life rafts did. Maybe. Hey, I like that. I don't mind. I don't mind that shit. That's some good shit. Caleb. Justin Yell says, love you all so much. Almost at 2 years, baby. Appreciate you. We love you right back. Work is consuming my life, and I miss you guys. Keeping an eye on y'all from a distance. Nerd Avengers for life. Well, we really appreciate it, man. Thank you. We're just doing our thing over here, you know. It's looking to be a really nerdy year, really fun. And I'm trying to, you know, make some fun streams. Oh, by the way, I'm so bad at fucking reminding you guys about stuff. But tomorrow morning, guys, we are streaming. If you are a Nerdventure member, we will be live. We're going to be live at 11. And we're going to be going over X2. So it's a members-only deep dive on X2 as we get ready for Doomsday. We're going through all the back catalog of the Marvel movies. Tomorrow will be X2. So I got to get better at reminding and plugging throughout the week on these things. But yeah, come on by tomorrow if you can live. If not, watch it later. These are fun streams. We've only done 2 of them so far. They're very fun. Iron Man 1, very fun. We definitely didn't do that stream twice. Only once. And the one that wasn't deleted is the only one, and it was really fun. And then X-Men was really fun too. That was really fun. So yeah, I'm excited about it. They're hiding that Spidey turns into a Spidey monster. Maybe. I don't even know if that's true, to be honest. I don't think that's true, but it could be. Salient Productions with a 5 spot says, how do you guys feel about Johnny B as Frank? I'm glad he loves the role, but he doesn't really feel like Frank to me. Ray Stevens was perfect. Interesting. I like him as Frank. I really like him as Frank. Yeah, I wonder if y'all feel the same. I think most people really like Bernthal as Frank. iFlow593, appreciate the 10 spot, says off topic. Maybe the MCU characters become aware of Loki when they mention him and he appears like a god. I kind of like where your head's at with that. I've been thinking about this too. I certainly think Loki was doing more than it seemed at the end of Loki season 2. And I think that will be a big explanation for why he does what he does in Doomsday, why he doesn't do some of the things we think he might do in Doomsday. Yeah, we'll see. I like where your head's at, though. There's definitely something to that. I mean, stories themselves, what is a story, really, you know? Yeah, there's definitely something there. Okay, let me go back to, let's end that segment there. We're going to talk about Dune now, and I'm going to be fucking so sad and scared about Dune. C-Dub says, finally have the next 5 days off. Holy shit. Going to play the new WoW expansion, a little bit of golf, sip on nice Anijo, what the hell? Maybe a blinker or two, and see an early IMAX of Project Hail Mary on Monday. Let's fucking go. Goddamn, that sounds like a good 5-day stretch there. Holy. What is Anijo? What is that? What kind of drink is that? Tequila? Ooh, okay. You don't like stories, do you? I don't like stories. Bernthal is to Frank as Benedict is to Strange. I think he's incredible. Yeah, I think he's like that guy. Oh. Grip says, who is Tillman officially playing and how will his character affect the MCU going forward? I forget the name of the character, to be honest. We can look it up. It's like a Boulevard Trask kind of a guy. He's a famous anti-mutant character in the comics. And he is now apparently the head of Damage Control that is trying to shut down and fight against mutants. So he's very, you know, if they sort of carry that into the next saga and everything, he's just going to continue to be a very anti-mutant kind of a force. Yeah, that's the explanation. That's the explanations. I think I also need Spider-Man 101 with arms. I wouldn't mind that. I mean, I think that would be cool. That's obviously something that happens in the comics, right? And there is that 90s X-Men arc that covers that whole thing. So maybe. Look, I think it could be that, but I think what's happening is Peter is forgetting who Peter is. Everybody forgot who Peter Parker is, and in a sense, even Peter himself is forgetting who he is. So it's almost like the Spider is taking over the man. You know, Spider-Man is a dualistic entity, but if the cosmology or if the universe itself forgets who Peter is, right? Then is the Spider now taking over? Something like that could be going on. Yeah. Which is interesting. Yeah, which is interesting. But I guess we'll see. He'll be a galactic Spider-Man thing. Amen. I hope so. All right, can we talk about Dune a little bit? So can we talk about Dune just a little bit here, chat? I need to tell you guys, and this is like a confession, okay? I'm scared. Starting to get real worried about this Dune trailer. Not because I think it's going to be bad. Oh no, actually the opposite, okay? So here is some evidence here. Dune Part 3 trailer is out there, and it looks like it's going to release next week, okay? So it's 2 minutes and 30 seconds, basically. Look, man. Dune is doing a lot right. I'm excited about Dune. I'm excited about the franchising of Dune. First of all, I love the Dune books. I love the stuff that's put in there. The lore of Dune is so heavy, especially when you get into the God Emperor stuff, and all the stuff in the later books, and even the stuff that like Brian Herbert wrote and all of that. So I like Dune quite a bit. And I even liked the show. A lot of people shit on that show. I actually thought it was decent, man. Thought it was decent. And they do some like God Emperor, Flaylaxan, face changer stuff in the show. Even more so than Denis was willing to do in some of the movies. And I was like, oh, this is fucking cool. And of course, the trajectory of Dune is quite interesting because it comes out in pandemic year. Underperforms a bit, but a lot of people say it's probably pandemic. By the way, guys, something that I'm always going to be upset about was my wife and I were in New York, and I had the opportunity to see that thing in Lincoln Square at the big IMAX, 70 millimeter. She wasn't feeling it. Anyway, so Dune, interesting trajectory, right? 400 million about first movie, second movie, way better than I think it gets to 7. And this is like an incredible accomplishment, incredible growth, and has a big window of relevancy. I think people were really into Dune. I think it really did create a lot of conversation. It earned a lot of media. It was in the zeitgeist for sure. I think Dune 3 is gonna I think it's gonna be amazing. I think it's gonna be absolutely fucking incredible. I think it's gonna be outwardly so cool that it's gonna be the biggest one yet. Probably crack $1 billion, be an incredibly successful fucking movie. It's going to blend some of the later stuff with Leto and Children of Dune into this one. You're going to have the jihad and the time skip and all these. They got all the best shit now. They're going to cook. Timmy C is bigger than ever. He's going to fucking do that mystic twink shit, and everybody's gonna go nuts for it. They're fucking locked and loaded, okay? And you might ask yourself, well, why? What's the problem? Why are you so mad, Josh? Because it's Doomsday's time. Because this is the year of Doomsday. This is the year that Marvel figures it out. This is the year that they're supposed to pop the fuck off. And now, due to a delay by 7 months, they're basically neck and neck. And Dune 3 has all the IMAX showings. Dune 3 has all the fucking IMAX showings right now. Oh, you want to see Doomsday IMAX opening weekend? You're going to have to go to like a different country. Why? Because of the Mystic Twink Timmy C. What the fuck? No! I see this going a terrible way for Marvel. Because, look, Doomsday is going to be that film. They figured it out. Okay? Everybody that tells you otherwise is fucking wrong. And probably really dumb. Maybe not connected. But they are. It's going to be fucking incredible. They figured it out. But I don't think everybody knows that, again, because they're dumb. So I see a real unfortunate perfect storm forming here where Dune 3 could potentially actually do a lot of fucking damage to Doomsday. And I really don't like that. I'm conflicted because in some ways Dune is earning its keep, forging a path, doing things way better than Marvel did. Scarcity again, right? Scarcity. Proper franchising, and I want to give them their due. That shit is cool, man, and of course it's the perfect appetizer for Warhammer, which is better in every goddamn way, but we don't have to linger on that. But I just don't need it to peacock when the shit I love is about to make a comeback. You know what I mean? This is like the old prize fighter getting his groove back, and fucking Dana White makes him fight some fucking Dagestani wrestler savage that's somehow also the Mystic Twink Timmy C. Do you see my problem? Are you understanding the complaints? I'm pretty not fucking okay with this. And next week, when this goddamn trailer comes out, it's fucking over. And I tell you right now, guys, I'll tell you right now, you cannot move, Doomsday. You cannot move. And this is the problem. They got us in a fucking trap. Moving is the right move. But if Marvel moves, it looks weak. If Marvel moves, it exacerbates all of the perceived problems for the brand. You can't fucking move. Do you hear me, Kevin? You cannot fucking move. You need to stare down the twink with no IMAX, and you need to take a dump on his chest. That's what it is. The problem is, how does that happen? How does that happen? Do you understand? This is serious. This is serious fucking business. So we are in a little bit of a pickle here. Depending on how good the trailer is next week, I might have to support Doomsday. If this trailer next week is as good as I think it is, which, by the way, is going to be in somewhat of competition with Spider-Man already. Do you see what's happening? Why is Timmy C a twink? Well, I mean, I don't want to get completely derailed here, but it's a lot of reasons. It's like environmental, microplastics, low testosterone levels. It's a multifaceted thing. I don't want to get sidetracked here. It's a good question, though. In some ways, next week, Spider-Man and Dune are in competition. It's already starting. Those views, the perception from people on social media, all of that shit is going to be compared. You're already fighting them. You know? And my God, I see it going a bad way. So look, man. Oh, how could you do this to me, Dune? How could you do this to me, Dune? Hope the trailer's real good. I kind of hope it's not that good, though. You know what I'm saying? What do you think, chat? What do you think? I'm legitimately fucking worried. I'm concerned. Am I crazy? Is Marvel gonna be okay? What do you think, chat? Seriously, what are your thoughts? It's an interesting combo, no? Josh, don't understand the Barbenheimer effect. Plus, Dolby is better than IMAX. Oh, dude, I gotta tell you, Kalen, sometimes you throw some copium at me, and I'm like, you know. But right now, I'm like, yo, nice. Give me that shit. Give me that copium. Yeah, Dolby is better. Oh, dude, Barbenheimer was lit. Let's go. Timmy C. the Mystic Twink is one of the funniest things I've heard in a while. You're welcome. I think the Dune movies are the most boring movies ever seen. I totally disagree, but might have to pretend that I do agree. Is that what it's going to take? Yep, move it. Move what? Dune? Absolutely. So if Spider-Man trailer was already out, we could have had the Doomsday trailer next week to compete with Dune. Ooh! That's true. That's true, yeah. Huh. I guess we'll watch how it all goes from here. I guess we'll see. Dolby is far superior to IMAX? Hell yeah. Are you betting anyone 500 on which will do better? No. But now I might have to. Because I can't learn my goddamn lesson! But the lore. Yeah. I think it won't be a problem for either films, box office wise. It'll be awesome to have both. I like that, actually. I like that. I mean, look, I really want, this is the comeback. This is the comeback tour. I want Marvel to shit all over everything that's going on. Like I do. I'm sorry. Okay? That's how I am. There's other things that are going to be great this year. Invincible is going to be great. It's doing its own thing. Spider-Noir looks like a really cool little, version of a Spider-Man live-action show. The Boys, I think, is going to cook in their finale. DC's total ass embarrassment. Cancel it all. What the fuck are we doing here? But other than that, there's a lot of cool nerdy stuff. I want Marvel to fucking dominate. I want the 10,000-pound gorilla to come out and beat its fucking chest and shit all over everything else. I want to win. But at the same time, yes, it's great that we have all this other cool stuff going on as well. Zach says, imagine Timmy C and Tom Holland together in the marketing. Please don't make me comment on that. Yes, that would be great. I don't like Sam says, a little off topic, but fuck Sam Altman. Oh, and I'm about to be right about Doomsday not releasing until 2027. My God. Hey, don't you fucking say that. I don't like sand. Yeah, isn't it? Like, I just think it's so crazy that the dude's name is literally Alt-Man. And that's not taken as a sign or something, Anyway. Everyone pretending like Dune isn't the problem is coping. Dune Messiah is going to be fucking insane. Timmy's about to go Ultra Instinct. This is the most competition possible for Doomsday. I actually agree with you, but I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it. But yeah, no, I think you're seeing what I'm seeing, frankly. I think you're seeing what I'm seeing. It's legit. It's a legit perfect storm. Dune did it the right way. You have to give credit where credit is due. They did it the right way, and timing is everything. Timing is ultimately, I think, what could create the real competition here, because I think the audience is ready for shit like Dune. Doomsday is return to form, doubling down on a pre-established plan and all these different things. But the timing, is the audience really prepared to receive this movie right now? That's a big question. I really think Dune's going to do well. Yeah. We're getting all the weird. We are getting some weird, 100%. You want Marvel to poop on Warhammer? You said everything. I said everything that comes out this year. Did Infinity War Endgame have another franchise releasing the same weekend like Doomsday does? I genuinely can't remember. No, but Infinity War kind of did, if I remember correctly. Infinity War actually had, there was Deadpool 2, Solo, and one other big pop culture movie was around that time. Unless I'm crazy, I'm pretty sure they were all around the same time. What about Supergirl versus Spider-Man? Look, I guess we'll see how the next Supergirl trailer goes, but my take on that film is basically the same. I don't see how that movie's going to do well. Unfortunately, I kind of think Warner Brothers knows that, and they're kind of scrambling, bringing in the third composer, and maybe, I don't know. We'll see how that does. But Yeah, I think Supergirl's gonna do pretty fucking bad, dude. Like, I think Supergirl's gonna do pretty bad. Which is a shame because I think there's something there. I think Millie's great. You know, that Tom King story has obviously resonated with a lot of people. There's something there. I just think there might be too much working against the movie. Again, timing. Timing is so important. All right, any last minute thoughts on this whole Dune thing here? And then we're going to talk about some Sue Storm shit, okay? Is there any other thoughts here? Anybody got any extra cope for me? Anybody got any more copium? Please. Show me the copium. Savage Dragon greater than Dune? I don't know if I would agree, but I like Savage Dragon. Yeah. Josh, if Doomsday underperforms, are you like out on Marvel? No, I'm not out on Marvel, but that would be a pretty devastating blow, I think, to the brand and to like the perception of all of that stuff. I mean, I told you guys, I'll be here till the wheels fall off. Now, I am also building Warhammer channels and, you know, getting that set up. But no, I'm not going to, it's not like I'm going to stop. I'm a giant fucking nerd, dude. I will say this, okay? Here's the only thing I'll say. I think that my trajectory is going to be more with Unity, which I know sounds crazy because Unity's super delayed, but we're working on it, and Unity is the future for me. Unity, my own stories, that's what I'm supposed to do. That's my real gift, you know? All of this yapping and all of this, like, nerding out together, it's great. I love it. You know, it's fun. It's fulfilling. But I think my work, what I'll actually be known for when I finally croak, will be the stories. It'll be the comic. It'll be, you know, we talk a lot about all these other properties, but then it's like I get to sit down in a dark room and I get to create mine. You know, I get to create my story. I get to do all the things I want to see in stories. I get to put all the little subtle hints about the truth of reality in my story. So that's awesome and exciting. It has been a bit of a dark cloud hanging over me because Unity is so delayed, but it will not always be. And so if anything, that'll be more of a direction. It's not like I'm going to walk away from YouTube. I'll always flip on this. I promise you guys this. I promise you this. Literally, until I am gone, I'm going to flip this camera on and yap. It might not always be about nerdy stuff, you know what I mean? We'll see, but I will probably always be out here yapping a little bit. Because I enjoy yapping, and I enjoy conversing with you guys, you know? He'll always be a full-time part-timer. Exactly, Chris. See? You get it. You get it. There is a fan film that I've been working on that happens to share the title of your story, Unity. Crazy. Always love your live streams and videos, man. Yeah, and no worries on that. Unity is actually such a common word. It actually can't be really, like, I can't sue you for that because Unity, there are certain words that are so common in the parlance of our time that you actually I can't like sue you or anything, nor would I. But yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Do your Unity. I'll do my Unity. It's all good. He'll never stop as long as Warhammer costs money. You know, that's true. But then again, do I need to make money? I don't know. I would love to not have to make money. I would love for all of you to not have to make money. I think we should instead focus on creating value and let the money take care of itself. Sky Guys Production says, do you think of the opera and ballet coming back? No. I think the Twink's right about that. Fuck them ballet motherfuckers, dumbass dancing motherfuckers. No, I'm just kidding. Whoa. Okay, it's a little performative. Relax. Just relax. Okay, that's enough about Dune. Who should direct Dune 4 since Denis is moving to Bond? Great question. I like Del Toro. It's going to sound crazy. James Wan. Anton Fuqua. Zack Snyder. Yeah. Hey, Rosé, thank you for the rose. Appreciate you. All right, you guys ready to talk some Sue Storm shit? Hang on, let's look this up. This is probably like, is My Time to Shine gonna ever shut up? Like, maybe let's just start there, chat. Is she ever gonna shut the fuck up? Probably not, huh? What if we all just block her? I don't know if that matters. We all know it's just your alt account. I've been working on my anger problems, so thank you for that test. We keep listening, though. Okay. Okay. Potential spoilers. I kind of think this one's potentially really crazy. We don't know for sure what it means, and so we'll go over it right now. And I guess it's a little bit vague, but it is coming from My Time to Shine Hello, who I kind of think right now is saying way too goddamn much. There's even some stuff she said that I did not cover on the streams or in the videos. Okay. Let's go over this. Let's get into this. Let's talk about this, okay? It says here, Sue Storm believes that the witches are the reason Dr. Doom behaves the way he does in Avengers Doomsday. She believes they are manipulating him into doing terrible things. Okay. Now, before I get into this, that's a great question, Rossi. I'll get into that in a little bit, okay? Before I get into this, do you guys have any thoughts, chat? Do you have any thoughts on what this could mean? Why is this interesting? Are they hot witches, though? I mean, we can hope, right? I believe a couple of them will be attractive because maybe one's Elizabeth Olsen and my God, she got it. What do you guys think of this? It's the Wabben's fault? Oh, no! Doom's just having his turn with Sue at this point. Wait, what? So Victor is definitely an ally at the end of First Steps when he visits them. Okay, yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. I thought Sue was smart. That's interesting. That is certainly interesting, yeah. Doom is deaf from 828. Oh, shit, you think so? Why do you think that? Let me know in the chat. Doom is hung? What the fuck? I feel like we're getting a little off track here. Like Sir Author of Penny Tree? Is that what we're talking about here? Got it backwards as usual? What does that mean? What does that mean? They're manipulating something over there. Unk Doom. Yeah. Okay. Daddy Waddy Doom. Jesus Christ. Okay, listen, Linda. Let me go over this. So I have a couple of different thoughts. So I think that the surface level take here is that throughout the course of the movie, Sue Storm will be pleading with Victor to not listen to the witches. And perhaps the witches in this coven that he has are chiming in, casting spells, bringing things up. I don't know. It seems like on the surface level, what we're meant to believe is that throughout the course of the film, Victor's there just being heroic, working with Reed, trying to figure this multiversal thing out. Okay? And perhaps Sue trusts Victor, right? And yet she feels like Victor is being manipulated into doing terrible things by the witches. And so let's just take the surface level interpretation first and kind of unravel the layers to that, and then we'll talk about what I think it actually could mean, which is like even more crazy. Okay? So this means a couple of different things. It potentially means that the gold masked followers of Doom are with Doom the entire time, which I'm pretty interested in. How long has Victor had these followers of Doom? How long? And are they there from before the experiment? Are they there after the experiment, but before he comes into 828? Is Victor somehow from 828 finding these Golden Mask followers that think he's some kind of prophesied figure? Okay, so there's a lot of questions there, right? There's a lot of questions there. And again, I think this is implying that the Golden Mask followers are in the movie more than we thought, maybe, right? Because like in order for Sue to believe that the witches are why Doom is acting the way that he does, she has to know of the witches and perceive the actions. That's very basic. That's like subject, predicate, syntax. That's just logic, right? So that would imply that the gold masks are a part of this earlier than we think in order for this to happen, okay? Also kind of interesting because this seems to imply that Victor might want to do certain things or have a certain tone as a character that is somewhat different or counter to the perception we have of the Golden Masked people. And I think this is actually potentially more important than we realize. Okay, so I guess what I'm trying to say, right? I'm dancing around it a bit. Here's what I guess I'm trying to say is like part of me thinks that Doom will say certain things and present himself as a desperate man trying to do the right thing. Very, very heroic. Incredibly heroic. And the Golden Masked folks are seemingly instantly recognizable as nefarious or weird or wrong. And that maybe the one with the mouth removed that speaks, or maybe all of them speak, I'm not really sure. I would imagine not a lot of them speak because that reveal is going to come later on of who they are, and I think that reveal's a big deal. First gaming. Yes, you're talking about what I'm talking about, but let me just cook here first, okay? So it's almost like they're saying Doom is setting up a fake thing where his actual intentions, which are truly dark, are hidden as being something that is presented to him by this cabal. Did you catch that? So, wouldn't that be interesting? And it would imply that the Golden Masked folks know something that no other characters in the movie know. Maybe some of them do, maybe. And are perhaps a part of the facade, a part of the mirage, a part of the illusion that Doom is using. That could be cool, right? That could be really cool. But now let's talk about the really, really crazy version of this, okay? Here's the really crazy version. What if it's the Sue that is his wife? And the Sue that is his wife is saying that the witches in them are manipulating him to do terrible things. And what if this experiment that Charles Murphy referred to, what if Sue realizes the truth then and then says, they're manipulating you. They're making you do this horrible thing. You don't have to do this horrible thing, Victor. But he does. You know what I'm saying? Do you understand where I'm going with this? Do you see? So either way, it's really cool. And either way, they're using this mysterious gold mask thing in a really interesting way. And I think it's cool. It's like kind of Black Priest, kind of Black Swan-ish, you know, there's a lot going on there. And then, of course, there's the fact that one of them is Stephen Strange, and Stephen goes with Clea, and don't trust Clea. She's working with Doom, and that'll probably be revealed. And then it's like, why was I told that there's 3 female golden mask figures, one wearing purple, one wearing green, and one wearing gold? You know, what's up with that? Pretty interesting stuff. This gold mask stuff, I think, is a way bigger deal than we first realized. And I wonder how Marvel has perceived us talking about that, because we've talked a lot about the gold mask thing already. And we don't fully understand, you know, we're just trying to internet detective best we can. But this is cool, you know, this is a pretty cool, I think, little tidbit here. Could mean multiple things. I think it hints at some fun stuff, and yeah, it's a cool piece. It's a cool piece to it. So, chat, what do you guys think, man? Any questions, any comments, any theories? Any theories on what it is? What is it? What is it? What does it mean? What do you guys think? Sue wants Doomcock. Jesus. Doom is in control of the situation. They think they are helping fight. Doom is in control. They think they are helping fight. Maybe. The masks are the followers of Doom or Dormammu in the MCU. They think they're manipulating Doom, who seems desperate, but he knows who they are all along and uses them for their power. So, unfortunately, so here's the thing, right? There's basically no leaks that suggest Doom is being manipulated. All of the leaks suggest Doom is the one manipulating. And if you look back to a lot of things people were saying a couple of years ago or about a year ago, they were saying that Doom is the smartest person in the multiverse because he has studied the multiverse, actually. So his vast knowledge of the multiverse is an attribute that gives him the power that he has in Doomsday. That's like a ipso facto way that a lot of the scoopers said it. So I just like, when does that knowledge happen? Does it happen leading up to the experiment, the accident? Is it even an accident? Is it a sacrifice? And then is it that he learns everything after that, or does he know everything before that? And is that why he's doing it? That was probably a little word salad-y. You probably didn't necessarily catch all of what I just blurbed out there, but maybe some of you did. Do you see what I'm saying? Could he be pretending to be manipulated, waiting to pull a Uno reverse card on everybody in Act 3? That seems more likely. So that's why I suggest that if everybody's saying like Doom's manipulating everybody, right? And then Sue thinks the gold mask witches are manipulating Doom, does that not track as a manipulation? That's how he's I would assume that's how he's manipulating Sue, right? I'm not smelling what you're stepping in. Amen. Any chance Doom made a deal with Mephisto to get the ability to pull this off? I think Mephisto could be involved. There was an idea to use the Council of Red. And you can see how, like, through, like, Ironheart and maybe even some of the setup in Agatha, right? Because they name drop Mephisto in that. Yeah, there's certainly some Mephisto stuff that they were cooking. The question becomes, like, are they still going to do that? Because I think they've changed the story, right? A bit here, so. Yeah. So the Thor arm stuff, false, huh? I don't think the Thor arm stuff is real, but it could still be. It could be a well-guarded secret, but signs kind of point to no, yeah. Put ranch on that salad? No, thank you. Mephisto confirmed. Exactly, Mike. Yeah, exactly. Do you think Sue believes the witches influenced Doom to sacrifice Franklin so he'd have the power to save the multiverse? Something like that, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Wouldn't that be cool? I think that's probably what it is, but we'll see. I mean, look, guys, it's I don't know. Okay? But I'm pretty good at pattern recognition. Let me just tell you one piece of pattern that's out there that is like super obvious, okay? In Endgame, Tony says, I have my second chance right here. Referring to his daughter. Okay? And the whole idea behind that is that even though Tony discovers actual time travel, and they could technically go live on a branch and like there's things that they could do. He says, I have to let you know my priorities. Bring back everything we lost? I hope so. Keep what we have? I have to. So Tony chooses his child. Do you think Doctor Doom will do the same? Or are there a lot of indicators that Doom is somewhat of a dark mirror of Tony and therefore would probably make a different choice? Right? So, I mean, there's like a ton of ways to like see that, right? I don't know for sure. I just see the pattern. So they're going to parallel Tony's motivation from Endgame, but they're going to flip it with Doom. So he does the opposite of Tony. Maybe, yeah. Yeah. The plot leaks you read said Doom's Coven is already in Latveria. I wonder what they're doing while he's off-world. Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know. Well, I mean, there's so much we don't know about them, right? Yeah. Yeah. Time Loom versus Battleworld. They have to smooth that out, not by means of Kang, but explain why Doom's desire his own saviorship. Now, again, what's his version of saving the multiverse versus Kang's? So, how do I say this? If I understand Victor Von Doom correctly as a character, Doom would view the natural universe that led to Kang creating an unnatural universe as basically just as bad. Okay? So his plan is actually not to go back to the natural universe, because the natural universe leads to Kang either way. So that's not actually how you break this cycle. So he will do what Victor always does, which is think he knows best. He should be God Emperor. He's got that shit on. And all will be well. Which is the flaw. Because it's like Thanos said in Endgame, if they remember what was, they will never stop fighting to get it back. Remember? So here's another thing. I've talked about this before, but it's like it's so obvious they were writing and cooking all of this around the time of Endgame. When Thanos comes from the 2014 timeline into the current day and blows up Avengers Tower, he's sitting there and he's talking to Tony after a good bit of the fight. This is when Thanos gets the stones, or he thinks he has the stones. And Thanos says, "I'm grateful that you showed me this," meaning the present day, because he thought his task was done with the snap. But the reality is, people that are left from the snap will remember what they lost. They will remember what the universe was like before the snap, and they'll never stop fighting to bring it back. So what does Thanos say next? He says, "I will now do more than that. I will now shred this universe atom by atom, and I will remake a grateful one." Thanos' words. So I would imagine Thanos gets ripped out of time, by the way, around that same time, and that's King Thanos and all that, but that's just speculation, right? But like the general setup there is to show you that Thanos, just like Doom, will come to the conclusion that you need to remake it completely. You need to shred it apart and remake it from the ground up and make everybody grateful. But there will be some characters, like, for instance, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man and Ryan Reynolds Deadpool, that will make it onto Battleworld, and they will remember the universe before, and therefore they will never stop fighting to bring it back. Does that answer your question? Does that answer your question? Yeah. Josh, what if the gold masks don't follow Doom but Rabam Alal, and they're treated as different characters until the reveal? They said gold masks like Black Priest, not necessarily Doom masks. I certainly think that's possible, and maybe they would do that. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, there's something there. There's not a lot of indicators that that is going to be a thing. Like, it almost feels more like they know he's the one to do it. They're trying to, like, whisper how. Like, they're an influence on how Doom decides to use the Word of God. But he is the one to do it. But again, I think that's all manipulation. Like, I think that's like that's the BS. Yeah. All right, any other thoughts, any other comments, any other questions on this before we get on out of this segment? Whispering sweet incursions to his ear. Yeah, something like that, yeah. Like, they're kind of like, they come up behind him and they're like, "Fuck these kids." And then they back away, and Doom's kind of like, "I think maybe fuck these kids." And Sue's like, "No, they're manipulating you." Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Okay, let's leave that one there. Let's leave that one there for now. Well, goddamn. Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. That was a pretty good segment and stream, but maybe we could call it there. That's the only topics I had. It's the only topics I had today. Any other bullshit you guys want to get into? Any other things you want to chat about? Michael says, "Is there anybody new they introduced in the film in Doomsday?" There's probably new versions of characters that you've seen before, I think, yeah. But Duncan says, "How does one get the joy back, not just in nerdy stuff, but in life in general? Much love. Happy 3 years." Ooh, good question. Let me take a sip of coffee and think about that, okay? I'm going to answer your question in hopefully an unexpected way. I don't think that how do I say this? I think we underestimate how damaging it is to not be able to joke about things. I think there's a path in life, and maybe a path for humanity, where things are, we can't joke anymore. Like, I don't know how to say it. It's like, you have to find a way to make peace with where you are in this thing called life. What is around you? What is this world? You have to somehow make peace of that and literally hold on the inside a completely different reality. Like, there's this phrase, be in the world and not of the world. Maybe you've heard of this. I think there's some wisdom in that. Meaning, like, for instance, like, just for me personally, right? There's a lot of stuff going on right now in the world that I'm somewhat making a stand on. I'm talking about it a little more on social media, and I'm sort of saying things that maybe I wouldn't have said before. But I'm not frantic. I'm not panicked. I'm not in despair. I actually feel incredible. And I have a lot of love and joy inside, while also being fully aware that evil is right there. It's right there. But I win by naming it and by holding inside as much love as is possible. And I think so that's like the macro. How do you get there? I think it's real simple. It's real simple. You need to write down 5 things that you're grateful for. And here's the thing. It might feel silly at first. The first couple you do, I actually say this to my wife all the time. I try not to get too personal here, but I'll say this. Sometimes when my wife and I will be in a little bit of an argument or there's a tense moment, and I'll do this thing that I'm sure she fucking hates, and I'll be like, okay, we got to shift the vibe. Tell me 5 things you're grateful for right now. And the first couple she says, she's kind of like, I'm grateful for this. And it's like, she's not really, but it's just like, go through the motion. And by the time you get to 5, you will actually start to feel grateful. And I would say, no matter who you are, no matter what is going on, with maybe some rare exceptions, there are some people that actually are in a living hell, right? And they're just going through their own thing. But for the most part, I bet most of us could look at ourselves and look at the world around us and think of some things we could be grateful for. Maybe the fact that our limbs are intact, you know, maybe the fact that we have a family that loves us, maybe the fact that, you know, we were sick, but now we're feeling better. Maybe, you know, it can be any number of things. And what you do is you try to, by the time you get to that 5th one, you should be emanating actual gratitude, not fugazi, woo-woo, fake shit. Like, you should actually feel it. And that's like a muscle, just like anything else. Keep doing it. And then you'll find that there's like this resilience that happens in the mind where you can be faced with, and you will be, faced with something that'll throw you off course. But the muscle, if strong, should snap you back to your preferred emotional home rather quickly. You know, and that's a choice. That's my answer. It's a good question. And you'll find that there's a lot to be grateful for, really. The official Milo says, hey, Josh, 2nd month as a nerd venture. So happy I found your channel. Phenomenal content. It's a little off topic. Can you briefly discuss Spielberg's Disclosure Day? I'll tell you this. There might be an odd way to answer this one, too. I'm not that pumped about that movie. I know. A lot of you guys are really into it. You're really excited, and that's cool. I wouldn't want to take anything away from you. I bet it's real cool. I bet it's a great stepping stone into a wider understanding and all that sort of stuff, right? But for me personally, I'm kind of over the prescribed dose of truth. Does that make sense? I want the whole bottle. So it's not as appealing to me. But yeah, I think I mean, I bet it's going to be great. Spielberg's great. It seems like it's going to be really good. Rossi says, Josh, Heather. Yeah, that number 5, though. That number 5, though, dog. Ugh. That number 5, though. If they drop a Doom teaser at the Oscars, are you going to cover it? Big group of MCU actors are presenting with Downey. Yeah. And I think we'd probably just talk about it on Monday, right? Because the Oscars is Sunday, right? So I feel like that just means a fire-ass Monday stream, baby. And hell yeah, I'd be into that. Logan says, top 3 or 4 non-MCU Marvel movies. And do you think those are as good as the top 3 or 4 MCU movies? Top of the MCU is still widely underrated, in my opinion. Yeah, I would agree. I think the fucking medium quality is also underrated in Marvel, frankly. I think a lot of those movies are way better than people give them credit for. Top 4, I'd have to say, you're talking about non-MCU Marvels, I'd say Logan for sure. First Class for sure. I mean, I'd throw Blade 2 in there. Blade 1, incredible. Blade 2 is where it's at. I know there's one I'm missing. I was actually just thinking about this the other day. There's one I'm missing that I really, really like, and I can't think of. See, I really like Days of Future Past, but I gotta be honest with you, like, I think these other movies are stronger. I really do. I think Logan is much stronger. I think First Class is much stronger. I think Blade 2 is stronger, frankly. Yeah, Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2. That's a good one, yeah. Because that movie is just like, holy shit, dude. That movie's incredible. Scott says, appreciate you, brother. And also, my tooth did just start hurting again, so I am probably going to get out of here in a little bit. There was a time where us nerds didn't have a lot of content to yap about, even if it's trash. We got you, brother. Grateful for you and the community. Nerd Avengers for life. Yeah, thanks, man. And I think we're just in a transitional period, guys. Like, that's what it is that's another reason why I'm getting really excited about, like, what Invincible is doing, what One Piece is doing. It's like, you know, shit was stale. You know, Marvel was at the top dog, and they kind of fucked it up. DC has really not been there. I'm sorry, DC is just not. The gun stuff for me, not even close. But I look at like One Piece is doing. I'm like, yo, like that could help. That's fresh. Like that's great. Like let's mine some of that. I look at even what The Boys is doing. I'm like, that's a very unique perspective. That's a very unique. You know, that's cool. Spider Noir, hey, that's really really cool. One Piece, that's really really cool. Like I liked even Dune. You know, even Dune is franchising, and Dune is showing the value of scarcity. Dune is really nerdy and cool. Obviously, Marvel was the top dog, and probably still going to be the top dog for a while, unless, you know, Dune takes its place or something. But yeah, hey, I appreciate it, and I understand what you're saying too. So thank you. Joe Stan Stilly, welcome to the Nerd Avengers. You are a Nerd Avenger now, man. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Craven? No. VVV Stream says, I love you, nerds. Can I get unbanned in the Discord, please? What did you do in the Discord? Were you hating on Peanut? Look, I didn't want to say this today. I literally banned somebody for talking shit on Burnt Peanut today. Did I feel a little bad about it? Yes. Am I wild when it comes to bans? Yes. I really like the Burnt Peanut. Mr. Rosie says, Scoopers make money question. Oh, yeah. How do they make money? How do they make money? Patreon. OnlyFans. No, I do think some of these accounts are aggregated, and their impressions are sold in a lump sum by a single person. Which is why you'll see like Shine and Daniel have the same stupid gambling deal and, you know, all of that sort of shit. And I think the truth is the person that's really making that money, you know what? I should stop. I don't know. No idea. The Exodus says, if Steve caused an incursion by creating a life with Peggy, then the events of Days of Future Past should have too. It would be nice if they said so. It would be nice if they explained that a little bit more. Now, I think what they're going to explain, actually, and this is actually part of why I want to do X2 tomorrow, guys, is I think this is the timeline where Days of Future Past happened. So the irony is Charles and Magneto will, in this new timeline, it's like when Logan shows back up and he's like, I'm going to need filled in on everything since 1963. From that moment on, Charles and Eric are armed with the power of foresight. They, in some ways, have seen the future, which is weirdly similar to an arc that happens in Hickman's Krakoa era. Bro, I don't know if they're cooking that hard, but I'd love it. Waste of $4, was it, though? Didn't you get some entertainment out of it? Whooper says, we seeing Ghost Rider soon, next Diamond Lounge? What? I don't know what a Diamond Lounge is. I hope we do see Ghost Rider soon. I assume Ghost Rider will be in Doomsday. Maybe they couldn't figure it out. I know they wanted him in there. I don't know. Have you noticed any growth analytics-wise in the channel on the videos lately, or do you know what video topics do hit more than others like Star Wars? I think YouTube is a little bit of kind of knowing your audience, knowing the news cycle, and taking chances. So I'm happy with the performance of the videos. I wish I had more time. I'm trying to actually create, because like I think I'm capable of making way better content, and I want some of these recaps to be incredible. We've talked about this a little bit too. The problem is like we're on a cycle. You know, the stream clip news cycle is not slow. It is fast. So I think the biggest challenge I'm facing right now is like how to transition into making better, more like edited, thought out, scripted content while not letting go of the stream of consciousness, you know, fast turnaround content that you guys seem to enjoy. So Doom's accent was dream walking at the snap. What does that mean? I don't know what that means, brother. Maybe you could say it a different way. Doom accident was dream walking at the snap. Oh, for some reason I thought you meant accent. That Doom's accident was him dream walking at the snap. Wow, wouldn't that be wild? I don't know if that's true, but I really like that idea. That's really cool, man. X-Men 97 needs more hype, Josh. X-Men 97 is great. When that new season rolls around, we'll be very into that. You know, we'll be very into that. Yes. Will Reed attempt to move 8 to 8 in Doomsday? I don't know. I mean, that's kind of an interesting idea. Moving timelines into timelines? Interesting. Reed's a bump. Yeah, he's a fucking jobber, you know what I mean? No, I'm just kidding. Hey, can I leave you guys with one crazy thought before we get on out of here? Clips will post tomorrow. I have a big video about Loki and Cap in that scene, so look out for that. That video might drop tomorrow as well. Can I leave you guys with like a really crazy kind of weird thing? Anne Hathaway comment when Super trailer dropped. Supergirl trailer dropped. What did Anne Hathaway say? What did Anne Hathaway say? Bro, love you, big dog. Hey, appreciate you, man. Thank you. Yeah, fanjecture, indeed. What's the Anne Hathaway comment, man? What the hell? Does it frustrate you at all that Tom is 4 movies in and still isn't the only hero in his own movie? I love all the Spider-Man movies, but his because they truly feel like a Spider-Man movie. No, it doesn't frustrate me. I do think some of that is being considered. I think that's actually a reason why this movie was tricky for them to crack, because I think Marvel and Tom are like, I think you might be Tom. You know what I mean? Like I feel like Tom feels that way. And I think, you know, Sony and maybe Disney have other things they want to accomplish with the movie. Because remember, like, is it going to be street level with Daredevil, or is it going to be multiversal with all the Spider Boys? Sony wants this, Marvel wants that. Like, we've been through these discussions, right? Isn't it a part of their contract that they have to have a Marvel character in the Spider-Man movies? Yeah, that's a part of the arrangement. Is like I think the contract requires an MCU staple character, or whatever the language is, in each one of Tom's movies. Yeah. No, I think you're right. I think you're right on that. Yeah. Okay. I want to leave you with a kind of cool idea, okay? And then we're going to get on out of here. Again, really appreciate it. Thank you for all the love. Thank you for all the support, guys. Seriously, really appreciate it. And we'll be back at it next week. Invincible next week. Spider-Man trailer next week. Dune trailer next week. My God, it's going to be a big week. And tomorrow we're doing X2. If you're a member, come on by for that. But I want to leave you with this idea here. So I was watching a podcast. I think it was Danny Jones, although I frankly mixed some of them guys up. And he was talking with this physicist, okay? And I was struck by something the guy said. He said that when he was a kid, he saw a science fiction movie when he was young that made him want to get into science. And then he said that Marvel Comics, specifically Marvel Comics, was a big influence on him getting into science. And he said one of the reasons why was characters like Reed Richards, you know, and Tony Stark and Bruce Banner. They were all scientists, right? And I see this cool parallel to the stories and fiction and imagination in STEM. And this is something this guy brought up as well. He said, it's not just that it made me want to get into science, but it made me want to invent new science. It made me want to use my imagination. And that there's something about how at a certain point we are told as adults to turn off our imagination. I think it was Picasso that said every child is born an artist and life beats it out of them, you know? And so I will just say that I know there are a lot of very serious things going on in the world, and it can maybe feel like it's a waste of time or immature to spend your time or your energy on nerdy things. But I will tell you that I truly believe, and I feel very strongly that that is not true. And that stories and imagination and characters and these archetypes, these aspects that we build as we get into this nerdy stuff, I think it's important. It's important for us, but you know who it's really important for, guys, is the next generation. It's important for our children. And we need them to have characters like those scientists, and we need them to push boundaries and to be heroic. And so don't let anybody ever tell you that this is just man-child shit. Okay? It's a serious business. Nerd-venging is serious business. Okay. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Much love. I'm going to get on out of here. Thank you. Clips tomorrow. Big video tomorrow. Maybe Oscars on Sunday. Maybe a lot to talk about next week. Let's get into it, okay? 3 crucial characters the show needs to kill off. Hector's niece, Heather, and Cherry. You know I'm right. And they're going to be an annoying part of the show. Look, you're not wrong. Okay, oddly timed super chat because I'm trying to make an exit out of here. But yes, you're right. I wouldn't hate it if they all died off screen. Thank you for the 10 spot. Really appreciate the support. Okay, much love. Thank you guys. And remember, man, as I always say, I hope you, that's right, you, are having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Leave. Oh, what a happy landing. What an interesting week. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. Thank you for the support. Much nerd venging in our future, I do see. Make sure you get on out there, have a good weekend, man. Give yourself a little bit of a break. Take a breath. All your troubles will be waiting for you when you're done. Appreciate you. Thank you. I'm gonna get on out of here because my tooth hurts. My fucking tooth hurts, man. Tooth are so stupid. What the fuck? All right, guys. Do me a favor on your way out. Actually, make it two. First off, open up that third eye. And then watch out your stinky butthole. I'm serious. Do it. See ya.